did you add to the piece since
I've
last
been
time?
working on the new part of it right here,
Okay.
and I haven't really gotten much past that. I sight read today, like till right there, but I didn't really practice it that much. I sort of just sight read it to see.
So, what did you accomplish with your practicing during this past week? What did you focus on? What did you learn?
I focused on trying to fix this product here still, and I was
Okay.
trying to get this more even. And I got the right counting for that because I was playing that wrong, and then I got it's falling out.
Now, the things that you described to me right now, those are things that somebody who is as smart and as well coordinated, that's like 2 hours worth of practicing. How many hours did you practice? Do you practice every day?
Yes.
Okay, how much did you practice every day?
I usually practice. Well, my mom says I'm supposed to practice an hour and a half, and then I make a list of what I'm supposed to do the next day on my practice, depending on what I did the day.
Okay, so does that mean that every day you practice an hour and a half for 7 days?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 7 plus 3.5, 10.5 hours worth of practice. So we identified what you've accomplished for 2 hours. Now, what did you do with the rest 8.5 hours
I
of
worked
practicing?
on my skills and arpeggios, and I worked on my etude and working on like different sections of it, and trying to finish it and getting it like all together.
Okay, now Ella, when we started working on this piece, I was hoping that we'll finish it like by the end of July. Actually, no, sorry, I'm saying the wrong month. By the end of August. So that was like a summer assignment, I think. And we're still trading quite a bit, and we still have the last 2 pages, which are the hardest of the piece ahead of us. Maybe you need to increase the amount of time you're practicing. Adding time for more of the new sections of this, because just a very slow speed for you. I mean, for other students, maybe it's incredibly fast, but for you, it's incredibly slow. So now, for you, being the violinist Ella, how much a week do you think would be a proper progress of new music on this?
Like 30 minutes a day, at least.
Additional 30 minutes, you're saying? No, but I'm looking at this from a different angle. So, how about at least 1 new page a week? Yeah, because it really, it's been like 1 variation a week, and I'm getting sick and tired of that. I don't know how you're feeling with that. You're probably pretty bored.
And I've been trying to like get the really high octave in tune at the
Well, that's hard. And how do we get better at something that's isolated like this?
You can split it up and practice it like by itself, like slowly.
Right, but if you practice more and you work on more pieces that have this kind of difficulties in there, don't you think that you will get much better at it? Right now we're stuck with just this one example, and the reason it feels so hard is because we haven't encountered it anywhere else, and it's like so new and so unfamiliar. So please, let's see how it goes if you increase the amount of practicing so you can spend more time on this.
So do you want me to do like 30 additional minutes on this?
At least, yeah. Because by the time I was your age, I was already finding enough to keep myself occupied for 3 to 4 hours a day with the violin. Not just repeating the same thing over and over and over, but just the learning repertoire. You need to be doing this. Because you get by just fine. Your basic technique on the violin is built. What you lack is the repertoire. you need to learn pieces. And how can you learn pieces if you don't practice them? That's what the predicament is. I expect somebody like you who memorizes so easily and so readily. You have to have a piece like this, a new one every month. Have I ever told you about how kids learned at Encore? Have we talked about Encore?
I think a little bit.
So Encore was the summer school for the Cleveland Institute of Music. And they were kids who were 6 and 7 years old, child prodigies, and people way into their early 30s who were getting ready for competitions and just needed a place where they knew that they would be practicing at very high level, where the pressure would be very high for, playing well and performing well. So I worked with primarily the very young group with the prodigies and with the pre-college level students. And the one that was absolutely astonishing and it did it with so much ease. And I've learned so much from watching her develop was Serena Huang. Have you heard of her? She's the most recent winner of the Indianapolis competition, and that's just one of the many she has won. And she's a major artist and performs all over and all that. Yeah. Anyway, but I have known her since she was 8 years old because that was when she first came to Encore. And that very first summer, I worked with her absolutely every day because. We very quickly discovered that she needed exactly one day to be prepared for the next lesson. So it wasn't like I was practicing with her every day. She actually had a lesson every day because at that time she practiced maybe a couple of hours a day. She would learn enough that she needed another lesson. And that very first summer she learned Bach E major prelude, Vitaly Chacon, and the first movement of Mendelssohn Violin Concerto, 8 years old. Yeah. 6 weeks. Just, sailing to that. And she, that first year, they didn't insist that she did her scales and arpeggios. That started a little bit later. But, 2 hours a day, focus on learning repertoire. And it's not that up to this point she had skipped around things. No, she has just learned everything so fast that she was ready to play Bach E major prelude, Mendelssohn Violin Concerto first movement, and Vitaly Chacon. It was just, she was straight for that. So, there's no reason why you couldn't do that. Actually, watching her do those things inspired me to push myself and do better. And I wish I had known somebody like her when I was, a lot younger. Because we kind of impose limits on ourselves and things and think, maybe in a year I will have a concerto finished or something. No, why do you need a whole year if you can do it much better and much more efficiently with, the proper effort? Yeah? Okay, now get your violin. I would like to hear your Chacon since you're going to perform that next week. Go ahead and tune. Oh, you did? Okay. you stopped, well, some of it was quite good. Some of it was very strange, I must say. Now, when we talked about the bow, special bow distribution here, did we talk about distorting the rhythm? Because that's what's happening, Ella. Be careful how you incorporate ideas, because I gave you a good idea, and now it's become a bad idea because of the things that it's causing you to do. Can you do the bow distribution as we talked about without distorting the rhythm? That's better. Now you're playing everything really small and kind of like you're playing. Is this the 3/4 bow that? Because it seems really short in proportion to your violin. Something is just not. Can I compare that to a full size bow? It just looks really really short. The 3/4 bow should probably come to about here. Do you have another bow at home that is?
I do.
Because I think this is the wrong size.
Oh. I didn't notice that.
Well, it's extremely short. Just is not right. So get a bow that's the correct size for this. I'm almost tempted to give you a longer bow here for this, because it's just not right. Now, do you mind if there are no accidents on this here? It feels like your head goes to sleep the moment you get here. It's like, oh, this is too fast. I cannot think that fast. Can you think fast enough and take care of every single note that you're supposed to be playing here? So from 1. Yes, like here. So yes, the fingering is a little bit kind of because of that 4th finger change there. So can you practice that? And when you get to the middle beat of the measure, you have to technically reset. So you have reset. So you don't thumble there as if you've got 5 thumbs on this. So now. Yes, now in that first position, are you giving an account to yourself that this is not a regular finger pattern, that you have the E flat? Now you're playing. So all of it is. Yes. So one more time, and can you really sing through it with the bow? that's better. Now, can you start from there?
It squeaks and then I shift and it sounds good.
Watching you play this, because I associate with you when you play. I know what it feels like when you're playing it like this, and I associate myself with what you're doing. The way I would fix that is I would prepare. You're not preparing. You're just you're just doing that. And in my case, I am going to have a trigger moment. And for that trigger moment to happen, I know that my hand has to be in the pattern in which I'm going to play. Maybe not all 4 fingers down, but definitely the frame. Because if I have the frame, then I know where the E flat is going to go. Just and now the next trigger moment. So those are the 3 prep moments that I would add to what you're doing. And try a little bit closer to the bridge with the bow. So, and a little bit heavier bow.
Do you want me to completely lift up the hand that I shift?
What do you mean completely lift the hand?
Like, do you want
I don't understand your question.
Like, do I take
all of your fingers? Let's see. So it's when you are in neutral to get to this. I'm focusing mainly on what the 3rd fingertip is doing, and then what the pinky is doing there. The thumb is supporting. The thumb has to. It's doing that. So look at my hand. I cannot. I mean, you will analyze it much better for yourself by looking in it. So that first finger has to relate to the E flat better, so it needs to be higher.
That's too hard.
Yes, and now with your thumb and 4th finger, do you have the mental image of what it's like to play the E flat? Try it. So just in first position, play that E flat. Yes, because this is the reset to which you're shifting when you go into first position. Think of it as a reset. It's not a shift, it's a reset. Yes. Yes, and now just don't let the bow bump that much. Right? And if you play a little bit more in the string with more sustained sound, so still in piano but sustained, just a thread. Yes, that's all you have to do. So, in other words, Ella, you don't want to be skimping on the note before the shift. It's a funny thing that when we time the shifts, we do everything possible to borrow time from the note before. But we have to make sure that we're not shortening that beat. So, ta-da-da. Yes. already better. Yeah. Now, in your mind, as you're playing this group, do you realize that the pattern is da-da-dum, always coming back to the finger on which you started the beat? Da-da-dum, 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 da. Are you thinking in that way? How about you try that and let's see if that will help the mechanics. Yes. A little bit quicker with that in mind. Better. Now. The shift was really good. You tripped on the beginning of it. So give it a little notch. Da ya para da 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 da. So that's the fourth finger on which. Yes. Can you try one more time? More sound. Start with more sound. Yes. Go on. Okay, great. Done. Ella. This is actually a place that Serena played so beautifully. And just think about the bow distribution that I'm telling you. That was something that David Cerrone taught her how to do. And do you know who David Cerrone is?
No, I'm
He's
making
still
a
alive.
mental note. So I
Okay,
can look
make
it up.
a mental note of that. So I can write those names out to you because they're like violin history that you kind of need to know. But David Cerrone was one of my teachers at the institute. He was the president of the Cleveland Institute of Music, and actually my main teacher was his wife, but I was his assistant at Encore. And he recorded the second edition of the Suzuki pieces.
Oh.
So the first one was David Nadian, and then the next round when they did the recordings, it was David Cerrone who recorded them. So he did a lot of that Suzuki stuff, and he loved working with little kids. But I mean, they were only prodigies. He didn't work with just anybody. So they were incredible. But I just remember the lesson when he showed her how to do it, and she just picked it up immediately. It was just this stunning effect that came from that lesson. And he didn't have to show her much anything, but somehow she knew that these two notes, they're not legato. The legato is here. So she instinctively yara da da and not ta ya da 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 ra. So I mean, I just still get goosebumps thinking about how that took place. And I want to encourage you to do something similar to that, something that 8-year-old Serena did when she was learning the piece. Just lightening up the ending of the gesture. We need to hear more of this note. Because it just da, 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 even though it's within crescendo, it needs to have inflection. It cannot be like da, da. It sounds kind of dumb. Right. And you need to understand the music a little bit better, Ella. So, can that starting arpeggio with its crescendo what's the purpose of the crescendo? Why is it there? Does the composer actually mean? Is that what the composer means? The composer wants their music to sound good, right? That's what they want. So the crescendo is there showing you that you need to develop the tone during that triad. And then so there is the focal point on so they don't want you to go to the one of them, but sustain. So the important thing of the crescendo is that the A crescendos into the C.
Do you want me to play over here?
You've got such a good fourth finger. Use that. Mine is not nearly as good as yours, so you use your fourth finger. That's better. Just experiment with because you've got it sequenced. There are other versions of it. To me, it sounds too soft. To me, it sounds way too soft, and it starts developing. There's nothing. Thank you. That was wow. Did you hear that sound?
Yeah.
It was fabulous. Do it again.
So I have to get lighter again, but I can't speed up.
Yeah, and you will have to do it with your 3/4 size bow. Let's try that one more time, Ella. I want you to get in the groove. You are getting there, but it's not very consistent. So. More on that open G, please. Nice. Good. Okay, and the fingering, I know the fingering is a little bit difficult, and these are, by the way, David Saron's fingerings. The ones that little Serena learned. Are you doing this too?
Yes.
So it can be with a little bit more. Because this piece wasn't written by Vitali. It's attributed to him, but it's faux Baroque. It's not real Baroque.
Okay.
So that's why we play it in this schmaltzy way. So. So follow the fingerings here. You're not following them. Go.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't see that. It's easier, isn't it? And now, going into this, follow the moving voice. So sing that melody in your head and da 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 da
and trace it with your hand. Don't just go. Let's not make a Morse code out of it. So. So it needs to be something that is very horizontal and very, very beautiful. Let me ask you something. What do you feel in your bow unit here? You understand what I mean by the bow unit when you play the melody?
Sort of like soft, not soft, like.
I'm particularly interested in the moving notes. Do you give them special treatment or do you just That's what it sounds like. So you need to do something more. So the moving line is I have like special sensors that I've developed over the years that run from my bow hand, and how it contacts the stick to my wherever my sensitivity lives, and they send back and forth to each other signals. And so my sensitivity wants to hear the melody moving in a particular way. So not only emphasizing the moving voice, but it has to be emphasized in a voice-led kind of way. There has to be phrasing to that, right? And then I know that whenever I need to bring something out, the amount of resistance that I feel from the string and the amount I basically manipulate and touch the bow, and actually I don't even think about touching the bow. I think always how I touch the string through the bow. That changes, and that sensitivity, just signals that I'm talking about that bounce back and forth all the time. It's quite remarkable what's going on. I wish I could give you the experience so you can know right away what it's like. But I'm sure you can get to it with this kind of explanation. It just doesn't sound very convincing to me, Ella. So it has to be better done with timing, because it's the first cadence of the theme, right? And then we have another statement of just so which is what does this what do the triplets signify? You see how it speeds up without actually changing the tempo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's it's written out accelerando.
Mm.
That's so. So it just needs to have much greater sense of clarity. And do you see how I'm going? So showing this beat here is going to help. But we without all those funny noises. So, one, one, one. Can you do it with the correct bowing? So this is up, this is up. Is it up? So this is, let's put a few helpers here. Down, up, down, up, down. So this is up, yes. Correct, this is up. And then right away here. So it's very important that. So this is the one that we need to hear. Da-dum, da-dum. Vibrate the G. Okay, and I also bombed this one, which means that we need to address it. That's better. That's better. Can we put all of these together? And I'm very interested in how you're managing this particular transition here, this cadence. So don't vibrate the G. We don't need that, but there's this micro vibrato that has to happen on the melody. And keep feeling the melody with. Yeah, but if it breaks like this and you keep fixing it there, what are you practicing? That it breaks and you fix it. That's what you practice. So maybe we need to put warning sign. Why are you getting tangled up?
Because it's getting really uneven.
Now look, it's not like each triplet has to be precisely 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 with that. As long as we hear yum pa pam pa pam pa pam pa pam pa pam, as long as we hear that pulsation, it's fine. So let's do it a little bit slower. And I want you to really zoom in on how you're managing this. That's better. Now your sound is not very consistent though, because when it gets a little bit more difficult for the head, all of a sudden. So can you just keep sustained? that was a whole lot better, I thought.
No, I just need to speed it up.
Huh?
No, I just need to speed it up.
Right, and it needs to have also a little bit more musical shaping. Yes, but that's a good start. Go on. That's a really lovely sound that you're making there. So now I don't like this G flat that you're playing. So you have to build your stack better. Yes. Yes. And you know, this happens a lot actually right here. So I'm going to circle that.
Okay.
How about from there? Right. So that's on the D string. Third finger, the D string, the third. Yeah, and I don't like though how you get. Oh, I'm hearing. Not that much, but now look how I'm managing that. And I can tell you, when I was your age, trying to do just sort of things that I thought involved extensions, I dreaded those because I just didn't trust that my hand could extend. But think of it as a reset instead of doing that. Now it helps to be able to do it, right? But it's just like walking, like releasing in between the. Yes, and now release with less of a gap in between those. So that's another one of those release. Yes. Now, Ella, do you know where your first position is?
No.
Okay. So you have climbed up to fifth position somehow, right? Now, can you just slide your hand without thinking too much of shifting? So obviously, it's not going to be jump there, but so. Start releasing the finger a little bit. Does that word release mean anything to you?
It's
Like
go.
what happens? Yeah, release a bird. You know, in the circus when they release the doves or the pigeons or whatever those white things are. You know, it's so beautiful. They just let them go. So just so let go. You don't need that. Yeah, it's just more musical common sense. Okay, great. Now, did we have a similar passage somewhere else? Something that involved an arpeggio and some sort of figuration after it? Where did we have that? Where is that?
There.
Right. And now, do you see that they put a bunch of dynamics on this? They didn't bother putting anything here, but
It's practically good.
It's, yeah. So you need to shape your arpeggio somehow because right now it just sounds very bland and blank. Okay, yes, that's so much better. I just have beef
That one was
with this because that's not the first time. It's been consistently out of tune, so that it used to be lower. And not trill on the last one, so just as an arrival note. Yes. Yes, and now with a little bit more crescendo and more inspiration in there. So this note needs to have a much bigger. Yes. And again, it has to be a sense of, your bow is a little bit too short for me for this, but it needs to have that feel of sense of release on that note as well. Yes. Even more so on the next one, right? And now. Right. So we are very close to being able to play what's in the music. So the first trill is on a whole step, right? Then we keep trilling on F natural here, and then the last one is on a whole step. So half step. Yes, and now do you remember? Actually, no, it wasn't the end of June that bothered me because in terms of the things that I wanted to hear, this is what didn't happen, and that's what I was missing.
So basically, in the whole piece, I just need way more dynamic.
Oh yes, yes. Right. And now on this, let's do just one more time. I know it's not your favorite spot, but I hope that it will become your favorite spot because. I need to hear better crescendo and just some sense of urgency. I would challenge myself to do as brilliant a trill as possible. Just, yes. Yeah, and drop the finger here and just release the vibrato with the bow. You need a full bow for that. Yes. One more time. The ritardando is not until here, so just has to be in tempo. It's actually easier faster. So one more time. Let's do. No. Let's do it in context because you have to catch the context of the tempo from before.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Oh,
sorry.
E flat, yes.
Dang, I forgot it was a whole step, so I stopped.
So can you now? We're going to do this. E flat. That's what I want you to do. So just go E flat and trill on a whole step. Whole step. So bigger space between those two. Yes. raise the hand again. So erase, relax, back. So it's important that the frame lands correctly on the octave. Yes, can you take less time? How do you get in there? How do you find it? What is your internal process?
About, like, the hand thing on the part of the violin. And I just remember that part of the violin.
You know, for me, I have this system because it's a little bit risky to just go straight to that. I go G with the first finger and then up a half step with the yes, and that gives me yeah. Great, and now yeah, and I'll tell you a little secret here. Because of the trill, even if you play the octave exactly in tune, it's going to sound slightly out of tune. So don't fret it too much. Right now, the whole point is you get through it with the right timing. So can we get from the first of the trills? Dum, 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 dum. Yes, do you hear it in your ear? So you use your first finger. Yes. It's still not in tune. Yeah, so it has to be on the perfect fourth between the first and yes. 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 Yeah. Now, all of this sounds to me like there's spots where it sounds. So sustain, yeah. E.
Yeah.
That's. Great. So this is coming together very nicely. Now, here this sounds funky. And now, another thing that David Zeron talked so much about, he talked about that to little 8-year-old Serena as well. It's voicing or bridging, as he called it.
Oh,
So this bridging concept that I've been talking to you about, it's not my invention. It will make music so much easier for you. So what you need to do here is before you go to the G, and let's do it with the second finger. So you slide 2, 2. So you have to clear the air. So you make the double stop, a single stop, and then you play the note. Yeah, you can stay on the F sharp by itself a little bit longer. Yes, because we want to hear that moving voice. And if you're just doing it's just it's much so you have to guide the ear. Yes. Yes, and here also you can bridge. Do you need to stay until the end of the? So use the open string for that to bridge. Yes, yes. So you have to re-enter the G string. That's what the. Exactly. Okay, now Ella, I would like for this to be just a tad more stylized. What am I talking about? We don't want this to sound too triple-digit, but so ever so slightly. Yes, you need to linger a little bit longer on the 8th note so you can slightly compress the 2 16th notes to make that stylization. So. Can you sing better through the arpeggio before that? Yeah, I'm missing the G. Ah, that's nice. That's nice. Oh, that's very good. What you just played. That sounds awesome.
Okay.
A little faster. It's pretty good. Do you want to try it with your own bow here? Yeah. I mean, oops. Sorry. This one is helping a lot of things. Yeah, but it's not even. So feel the stick. Feel how it responds. You need to expand toward the lower half of the bow. Otherwise, you're stuck in the tip. Yes. This is very nice. I like the shaping that you're doing here. That was exciting.
Okay. So
Did you just decide to do it, or have you been practicing
trying
like that?
to do it.
Huh?
I was practicing.
Ah. Okay. Good.
So
I like it. Now, don't disconnect somewhere here. Just make it a little bit more seamless. So here on this one, on this up bow, is definitely where you, yeah. Yes. Yes. And now, can you sustain more because you're going in? So you're very strong with the, but so it's strong. Yes. Two and yes, and here slide, please. This is we talked about the fall. I know that there is a dot and so on, but you know, these are all long notes. So one more time from. So nice yummy slide. Yes, nice yummy slide. So now, Ella, look, I have a cheat for this because my pinky is not strong enough, no matter what I do. See how I'm helping it. You tell me what I'm doing.
You're using your big finger to sort of support.
Is it just the third finger? It's
Oh, it's all three.
yeah, all four. So just go with the whole hand. So slide. Yes, slide with the whole hand. Yes, and now. So the slide will be on the new bow. Be brave to sound it. And then vibrate the top. I love everything you did until this one. It was so good. Okay, now you tell me, in what position are you playing the A? In what position are you playing this A? Okay, so if you're doing that fingering, how about we just indicate, so your eyes. No, the two. The second finger is better. But now that you're seeing that you have to go from second to fourth position,
Right.
that gives you a different signal, isn't it? Yes. And, so there's this minuscule, tiny amount of time when you have to silence your bow. That's when it skips over.
Okay.
The bow has to skip over, right there. Here. Right. Now, Ella, any chance this could maybe start a little bit lower on the bow?
Yes.
So, how are we going to get there? How about the... So you want for this to happen just around the balance point, just sort of crossing. Skip over. So there is going to be a little bit of this. I'm still not convinced by what you're doing here. Now, good. Okay, now, do you hear that your the placements of your fingers doesn't sound good against the open E string? Did you hear that? If you listen to it, you will hear it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the key to this variation. You
So I
have to make sure that,
extremely-
yes,
Okay.
it has to be extremely in tune because there is this tattletale that, yeah. Okay, great. And now, obviously, we're ignoring the dots and the dashes. So
Sorry.
the whole thing
Am I
basically
supposed
stays
to do
more or less détaché.
Okay.
Well, you're supposed to ignore them, and that's what I'm.
I was gonna ask
yeah.
you about that. I forgot.
So we're not doing this, but now this needs to be quicker.
Oh.
So
I
what is
sort of-
this? What is this?
I do know.
How about we erase it because it's
Yeah.
confusing my sense of what we're doing because I don't know whether this is an arrow and which way it's pointing. It's just really confusing to me. So duplets, triplets. What has he written?
It's faster without it.
Yes, exactly. So it's written out, getting faster. So don't slow it down. It has to speak like ding 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 ding, like a crystal glass. And yes, and right now there's some chips in it, and it affects the rhythm. That's why I'm making such a big deal out of this. So ding ding ding, yes. Quicker, just needs to be a little quicker. It's much faster than what you're playing.
Oh, I don't know if we can do
Da,
that.
da, 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 da. I'm still not convinced by this. And this one still sounds a bit uneven to me. Now, Ella, in terms of bow language, can you help yourself with making the moving melody more even? Because that's the one that if that's uneven, that's what affects everything. You know why it's important that the moving melody is on time?
Because if it's not, it'll get in between.
Because it's on the beats. We always have much more discretion about what happens inside the beats than on the beats. So you need to be really accurate with what's on the beats here. Yes, now here. So I will take those two guys. Yes. So maybe not heavy staccato or something, but definitely with daylight in between. Yes. Piano and more melodic. More horizontal. Good. Right? So look, even if it's not quite coordinated between the hands, just it has to be more horizontal. So don't try to be. Yeah. Yes. Good. Now, can you fix the pitch? It's just that major six is way too wide. Yes, so the intervals have to make more sense. Did I tell you the joke about Schomburg? So he walked into a bar and said, "Gin not tonic." Do you get it?
Something about tonic chords.
Yes. So you know that Schomburg was the one who invented the 12-tone system. So in other words, we don't have a tonic. because all 12 notes are of equal importance. So that's what the joke is here. So, but you're going a little bit farther than that because you're using microtones. You know what those are?
No.
Quarter steps and smaller. We don't use them in Western European music.
Oh.
It's very common for music from India, but not so. Then. Tempo. Thank you. Now the B flat is too low, and that's yes. So. Now let's unpack this one because we've got a bunch of bridging. It's better than it's been. So let's Ella, look. You have to make the double stop a single stop. So that's the whole point of this. Yes, and now really sing that melodic voice that you want the motion to be heard. Because it doesn't do us any good. So you really have to bloom the voice when it's right. So. Yes. Oui. So can we do this better? My favorite of all of the Italian terms. I've never encountered it in any other piece of music. Do you understand what it means? Do you see? I've translated it there, but it's cut a little bit.
So I don't know.
Raddolcire, melting. So it has to be so sweet, like molten chocolate. It's a very schmaltzy place, yeah. Up, that's up. But can the vibrato really sustain through the notes? Save your bow. So once you get there, crescendo. This last one is altitude though. Yes. Yeah. So the G has to be your D slightly flat. So just yes. Yeah, give yourself time to reach. Now it just sounds a little bit scrawny because I think
So I need a little more horizontal.
just more horizontal. Yeah, use a little bit more bow, so light bow. Again, the thing that on the beats have to be in more control. The allargando and the crescendo, yes, especially over here, it needs to be much better, much better. Now, Ella, it feels to me you're trying to too high on the bow. You need to be lower on the bow. So very transparent, light bow. Just basically, you have to be taking away from the weight of the bow there. Yeah, one more piece of advice. We need to hear better this one. So each and every time, just notice a problem. So fix. Yes. Go closer to the bridge. Yes. Oh, this is much faster. Maybe midway. So because your tempo yeah, can it be a little bit more of this? Yep, papa, papa. So ignore just it's like quarter notes.
I know, I just haven't been
Okay. It just needs to be on a down bow. So let's see what we're doing. So this is up. Yeah, it just needs to be a little bit clunkier here. So that those staccato notes have to be very proud. And one thing is missing here. It's the slur here. So this is on all up. So take just the end of it. Oh. Down. Use bow. Yeah, you're missing the harmonic. Yeah, harmonics are freebies. Don't. Yeah. Do you know this teacher in Los Angeles? He's very famous in California. Robert Lipset. In San Francisco, you guys didn't hear of him anyway. But at the Encore, he had a very strong class there as well. So when I was there with the Serons, he was there with his class from Los Angeles. And one of the things was that he would not let his students miss harmonics. That was just one of his things. He had a lot of things, but that was one of the things that you will not miss the harmonic. So saving up both with the don't stop the bow. So this is all legato. From above, the trill is from above. It's like a new start. This is like a reset. Good. That's Ella. Now the note grouping, the division is going to be after the unison. Because this is like new voices coming in. And each and every time, that's how you will be doing that. Yeah, and now don't be in a hurry. See, I missed it. So you need to practice in B flat, right? So, but the band has to be done. Much more into the lower note. So the high note is almost not there. Sink into the low one with the bow. Right, going. Yeah, again, stop your bow. Again, stop your bow. Just take yes. Good. So lead the shift with your second finger. Now, do you see how I'm preparing? Look. So it's again like going almost with the whole hand. Stop your bow because adding the second string, you need to hit. Ella, please stop. You need to put articulatory silence after this D. So you need to grab and catch. Yes. Lower D flat, yes. Now, for this one, so you need to practice. You need to practice the octaves starting from here. So I'm going to circle. So. Can I see you do that?
I've never done this before, so I don't really know how to do it.
Well, just the octaves. No. Did you clock in on what I just showed you? Because I want you to try that. So it's an arpeggio in octaves. Yes. Right. And that's the arpeggio that you have to play here. Do you see? It's a G major arpeggio. Right there. So that's what you work on. Now keep your pinky down. Keep your pinky down. Pinky. Yes, that's it. Right, and then keep. You must keep your pinky down. So starting from here where I circled it, you keep your fourth finger down. Right, and your hand is good enough that you can do this with the fourth finger. You don't need to switch to fourth finger to third finger. Then go on with the next one. Now you should be already in octave position. So starting from so that G stays. That D stays. Yes. Then. Right. No. Now, do you mind playing just, don't play it in octaves, play just the moving voice. And in first position. That's right. Yeah, so that's how you learn. You learn the melody that way, then you play it in octaves, and then you move on. Now, Ella, I'm not going to sit and sight read with you now. I just don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you want me to do that, your mom would have to pay me a whole lot more because I just don't. I don't have the will to do that. Yeah. So good. I really like the direction in which you're taking this because it's much more musical and with much more sense of ownership. We just have to finish the piece. And
So
I'm serious. Increase the amount of practicing because if we can get this done, like, well, in the next couple of weeks, actually, we're not going to have lessons because I'm not here the week after.
Okay.
But I want before the end of September for you to perform the piece in studio class with piano because I want you to be done with it. I want for you to move on to something else.
So in 2 weeks?
Well, in 2 weeks, actually, you will have a lesson in 3 weeks on this. So I want for you to have covered all of it. I want you to have read it, the whole of it, so we can actually work on it. I can show you stuff, so we can be efficient in lesson. And then you put that with piano, and I want you to perform it in class.
Okay. I'll do that. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.